Alrighty, so I am Dan Brozo from 102.1 KPRI, and I'm sitting here with the great Adam Carolla. Adam, been a huge fan of yours for years, man. Listen to you every night on Loveline, watch Crank Yankers, Man Show, Hammer. My parents love the Hammer, and now congrats on #1 podcast in the world, dude.
Thanks, Dan. It's funny when you say I'm sitting here with Adam Carolla because I'm 100 miles away sitting here in London. But we will be sitting together coming up.
Oh, yes.
If.
Yeah, down at Spreckel's Theater with Dennis Prager.
What is Spreckels? Because it sounds like a German dessert to me.
I think it's the name of a dude. A German dude, probably, who was transplanted to San Diego and did something important. And now he's got his name on a theater.
Yeah, I dig it. But just go with the Paramount or the Olympiad or something like that. But either way, Dan.
So let me ask you, for those of us that don't know much about these Dennis Prager shows, can you tell us a little bit about what happens on those shows? What's the setup for those?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I've always been a fan of Dennis Prager, even though he's an ultra-conservative Jew. And he didn't know he was a fan of mine, but I made him love me. Yeah. And I like listening to alternative viewpoints. I know everyone wants to just hear their own thoughts echoed back into their own skull. But for me, if you're conservative, maybe you should listen to some alternative viewpoints. And if you're sort of alternative, maybe you should listen to some conservative viewpoints. It makes you, it's like you're an MMA fighter. If you have a really good stand-up game, don't just keep practicing boxing. Work a little jiu-jitsu and work some wrestling in. So
there you go.
I'm a pretty progressive guy, but I like listening to Dennis Prager, and I became a big fan of his. And I thought, he has a great mind. And then I thought, if we put us together on stage and I provided the comedy and he provided the thought-provoking commentary, this could be an interesting combination. So we just tried it out in Redondo Beach about a month ago, and we ended up selling out a couple shows, and the audience loved it. And as a matter of fact, you can go to adamcarolla.com or you can go to iTunes and you can download it if you like. It 2.5 hours of me and Dennis Prager up on stage. And it worked out so well that we decided, hey, let's do another one. And that's what we're going to do.
Nice. And it's number 16 on the Billboard's Heat Seekers charts right now, man. You got to be pumped for that.
Number 1 on iTunes spoken word. Take that, Rollins.
All right, so I was going to ask you if you could give me a little special treat here. Are you willing to do a little bit of What Can Adam Complain About with me here?
Sure.
All right, I got a special San Diego edition. I'm going to give you 2 choices here, and you get to pick what you want to complain about. I got San Diego weather or San Diego women, and you get to choose which one.
All right, I'll say the women.
Okay.
I think that the San Diego women are beautiful, but I don't suspect they're all from San Diego. I think they moved to San Diego because hot chicks want to show themselves off. And when you're in one of the Dakotas, you're wearing a coat over your Dakotas and you want to come show it off. The thing that's always funny, like if you show me a chick with bad, the chicks that spent too much time in the sun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's this weird, ironic thing. It's kind of funny, but it's almost payback for hot chicks. Like, all the chicks now have the best skin were the ugly chicks because they didn't spend any time in a bikini and any time at the beach. And if you see the chicks that have that weird, liver spots all over their chest and all that crazy bad skin from being sunblasted, it's all the chicks that were formerly hot. And when you see the chicks who are fat and from Minnesota and who never went outdoors and anything close to short shorts or bikini or Daisy Dukes, they're all like 50 and look brand new.
Yeah, milky white skin.
Right. So I like the idea that there's tons of hot chicks in San Diego, but I don't suspect they're all from San Diego. I think they just took a look in the mirror on their 21st birthday and realized I got to get to a place where people see more of this.
All right, while we're talking about San Diego, you got any good San Diego stories?
Well, I used to occasionally stay in San Diego when I'd go on one of my many Tijuana runs.
Oh, yes, I've heard about those.
I slept in I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of vintage car racing in San Diego. I crashed and ruined one of my old Datsuns at Coronado last year. I decided it'd be a good idea to get my meniscus surgically repaired and then go car racing a day and a half later. And it didn't end up working out very well for me. I had friends who went to San Diego State, go Aztecs, and I stay in their dorms, and we'd go to Tijuana, get just blindingly drunk, vomit all over the place, and then crash out at their dorms in San Diego. Or sometimes I would just sleep on the beach in Tijuana with a blanket.
There you go, dude.
Not even a sleeping bag, a blanket. I would bring, and not a blanket, the blanket from my bed. I would bring the blanket from my bed and take it to go camping on the beach in Tijuana.
Shocker, you never got busted or messed with by the drug cartels down there, man.
You know what's weird? I think it's one of those things where they must have thought I was an undercover DEA agent.
Yeah.
Nobody would be that stupid to go sleep on a beach in Tijuana with an orange blanket from their bed.
All right, moving right along here. You got the #1 podcast in the world. You've had some awesome people on. You had Jane Goodall on, people like David Allen Greer, Tim Ferriss. Who would you like on your podcast and sit down with and do the full long form, beginning to end life story interview with? Who would you like to have on that you haven't yet?
Well, we had Albert Brooks on, which was kind of cool. We had a lot of cool people like Alec Baldwin and people like that. I guess I'd have to say Woody Allen.
Yes!
As a guy who's made a lot of really cool, interesting movies, and a guy who's been a great influence on me, and also a guy with a bizarre relationship story. I mean, I'm sure he'd never agree to any of the questions I'd ask him, but I guess Woody Allen would be a really kind of cool, holy comedic grail.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm with you on Love and Death being his best flick, man. Love that one.
Love and Death is one of those, it's one of those things, and you people are out there, you know who you are, where you talk to people and you go, you like Woody Allen? They go, oh yeah, I love Woody Allen. And then you go, oh, you a big Woody Allen fan? Huge, huge. And you go, hey man, how about Love and Death? I don't know that one. And it's like, come on, douche. Like, you just told me you were a huge Woody Allen fan. Don't say huge and then not know his funniest movie.
Seriously, man.
There's been movies that are more interesting, like Crimes and Misdemeanors, but Love and Death has the most jokes in it for Woody Allen.
Alrighty, so you got a new book coming out. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon.com. It is not Taco Bell material. And where did that name come from?
It was a part of the book where I was talking about being in high school and applying for a job at the local Taco Bell that was down the street from my dad's house and have them reject me. And I was like, even at that age, I remember thinking, I didn't even know you could be turned away from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
As an able-bodied, English-speaking citizen of this country with a strong back and a good work ethic, I did not know they could tell you thanks, but no thanks at Taco Bell. And it was crushing to my ego to find out they wanted no part of me at Taco Bell. I ended up getting a job at McDonald's, which worked out quite nicely. But no. And I just thought, that I think kind of summed up the early part of my life, like not Taco Bell material. And when you start trying to come up with for the name of the books, you start coming up with gags and you start coming up with puns, and you take other names of books and you try to rip them off or twist them up or do something. And then you just realize at some point it's just in the book. There's some line that's in the book that'll work well as the title of the book, and not Taco Bell material. Just popped out at some point.
Right on, I dig it. Alrighty, so once again, Adam's show with Dennis Prager is on May 5th, Saturday, down at Spreckel Cedar, downtown San Diego. You can find tickets to the show at KPRiFM.com and at AdamCarolla.com. Also, check out his podcast at AdamCarolla.com. Find him on Twitter at Adam Carolla and on Facebook at Adam Carolla. It has been a dream, dude.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks so much for talking with us, and hope to see you down here in San Diego coming up.
My pleasure.